Hello, my name's Jonathan, and we're going to follow on a talk that we were doing earlier, which was to do with children who are suffering with anxiety disorders. So what makes children anxious? Children can feel anxious about different things at different ages. Many of these worries are a normal part of growing up. From the ages of around 6 months to 3 years, it's very common for young children to have separation anxiety. From the age of around 6 months to 3 years, it's very common for children to have separation anxiety. They may become clingy and cry when separated from their parents or carers. This is a normal stage in child's development and should stop around the ages of 2 to 3. It's also common for preschool age children to develop specific fears or phobias. Common fears in early childhood include animals, insects, storms, heights, water, blood, and the dark. These fears usually go away gradually on their own. There may also be other times in a child's life when they feel anxious. For example, many children feel anxious when going to a new school or before tests or exams. I can certainly relate to those. Some children feel shy in social situations and may need some support with this. Why is anxiety a problem for children? Anxiety becomes a problem for children when it starts to get in the way of their everyday life. If you go into any school at exam time, all the children will be anxious. But some may be so anxious they don't manage to get to school that morning. When I was at school, got anxious to the point that I would be sick or be sent home, and I had some issues obviously there, and we can talk about those another time. But it's not something your child can control. I certainly couldn't, and I didn't really understand. Looking back now, I can see why that was happening. It was normally I was getting too worried, too excited. The pressure of everything was becoming too much, and my mind was overthinking. I was too young to even understand probably how my mind worked, but it was working, and it was causing me these meltdowns and panic attacks and anxiety attacks, really, I suppose, in some respects. So severe anxiety like this can harm children's mental and emotional well-being, affecting their self-esteem and confidence. They may become withdrawn and go to great lengths to avoid things or situations that make them feel anxious. Because we do that, don't we? We always try to avoid anything that might be a challenge for us. Those things are good to confront, but when you're young, you immediately just want to sort of get away from them, and I'd imagine that's fairly normal. What are the signs of anxiety in your child? When young children feel anxious, they cannot always understand or express what they are feeling. You may notice that they have become irritable, tearful, or clingy, have difficult sleeping, wake at night, start wetting the bed, have bad dreams. In older children, you may notice they are lacking confidence to try new things or seem unable to face simple everyday challenges, find it hard to concentrate, have problems with sleeping or eating, have angry outbursts, have a lot of negative thoughts or keep thinking bad things are going to happen. Start avoiding everyday activities such as seeing friends, going out in the public or going to school. Why is my child anxious? Some children are more likely to have worries and anxieties than others. Children often find change may be difficult, following a house move, or when starting a new school. Those are really, really big things. And I moved every year to 2 years in my life. My father had a job in the government, and we moved a lot. And I recognised that was always a very big thing for me. Children who have had a distressing or traumatic experience, such as car accident or house fire, may suffer from anxiety afterwards. Family arguments and conflict can also make children feel insecure and anxious. Teenagers are more likely to suffer with social anxiety. So how to help an anxious child? If a child is experiencing anxiety, there are things that parents and carers can do to help. First and foremost, it's important to talk to your child about their anxiety or worries. Reassure them that you understand how they feel If your child's old enough, it may also help to explain what anxiety is and the physical effects it has on our bodies. It may be helpful to describe anxiety as being like a wave that builds up and then ebbs away again. As well as talking to your child about their worries and anxieties, it's important to help them find solutions. For example, if your child is worried about going to a sleepover, it's natural to want to tell them not to go. However, this can mean your child feels that their anxiety will stop them from doing things. It's better to recognise the anxiety and suggest solutions to them so that they can go to sleepovers with a plan in place. There's lots and lots of very interesting things here. I'm going to read a few more. Other ways to ease anxiety in children. Teach your child to recognise the signs of anxiety in themselves. Encourage your child to manage their anxiety and ask for help when they need it. Children of all ages find routines reassuring, so try to stick to regular daily routines where possible. If your child is anxious because of distressing events such as a bereavement or separation, look for books or films that will help them to understand their feelings. Also, YouTube's full of some really useful information from credible and qualified people who can help. If you know a change, such as a house move, is coming up, prepare your child by talking to them about what is going on, why it's happening. Try not to become overprotective or anxious yourself. When should you get help? If your child's anxiety is severe, persists and interferes with their everyday life, it's a good idea to get some help. A visit to a GP is a good place to start. If your child's anxiety is affecting their school life, it's a good idea to talk to their school as well. There's more information on the nhs.com website about this, and I would urge you to go and have a little look and see what you can find that can help you. So again, I'm going to move on and look at the other topics that I've got to try to cover this morning if we can. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope it's been of some help and some use to you. And by all means, if you want to subscribe, then click the button and we'll keep you up to date with the latest videos I'm going to be doing. So thank you again.